Hey everyone, it's Tanya from Vegan in Michigan. How you doing? Happy 2020. Oh my God, that's exciting. I just thought, I have seen some comments lately about people who are maybe thinking about going vegan, or like they think that maybe their heart is in it, but they just didn't exactly know too much about what it means to go vegan or what veganism is or anything like that. So I thought I would do like a little series of videos, hopefully giving people information on it, maybe taking some of the mystery or the stress out of going vegan, because I understand it's different from how most of us were raised, and I get that. I think sometimes, to be honest with you, I kind of forget that it's stressful when you switch over. And I think the reason is because, to be honest with you, like right now, having been vegan for 4 years, it isn't difficult anymore. Not really. I mean, like, of course, we still have some challenges. Like if you go to a restaurant and they don't have very many vegan options, it's kind of like, okay. But as far as like shopping and preparing meals and things like that, there's just as much variety out there for vegans now as there are non-vegans, and it's not a challenge once you've been doing it for a little while. So I think sometimes I forget that it can be challenging for people who haven't done it yet. So I need to get that like mindset where it's like, wait a minute, it's so intimidating. Because I remember when I went vegan, I went through all the same things that everybody else would go through, where I was like, well, what do I eat? And what do I do? And like I said, I've been vegan for 4 years last November, and there are so many more products available now than there was before. So again, I just want to do this video series and kind of just give some of my own stories, and also a lot of actual like information about what veganism is to people who are maybe a little bit afraid, or a little bit standoffish, or think it's deeper than it is, or maybe they don't really understand the vegan perspective of like what it really is, because it isn't a diet. Of course, that has stuff to do with it, but it isn't exactly just a diet. So I do understand the challenges, and I want to thank you for watching, and I hope that I can give you some information on what this is. So I am a hairstylist and a filmmaker, and so I also am a vegan activist, and it's really important to me to have this part of my life where I'm sharing veganism with people, because it really is such a profound change that I went through 4 years ago, and I'm so happy that I did it, and I'm so like never looking back, and I'm just so I'm kind of appalled that I didn't know it was an option before I discovered veganism. So I think it's really great that people are spreading the word and trying to make sure that this information gets out for other people, because I would have gone vegan a long time ago had I known, and I just didn't know. So that's what I'm doing, and that's why I'm sharing the information with other people. So my vegan story is 4 years ago. I don't even know why exactly, but I was shopping and I was hungry, and I got a rotisserie chicken, and I wanted something I could grab in the car, And I got in the car with the rotisserie chicken, and I looked at it, and all of a sudden, I don't know why, but I realized that it was like there was more to it than what I thought it was, the meat, And I could see it that it was previously alive, and I looked at it differently, and it grossed me out, and it made me sad, and I realized I didn't want it. And so I'm not exactly sure what kind of seeds were planted before that, but there obviously were some. I had dabbled with vegetarianism years ago, but it didn't stick again because I just didn't have the information. I thought I just didn't know enough, I didn't know about the horrors of the animal agriculture industries. I just didn't know. Again, that excuse of ignorance is kind of losing its validity nowadays, because we've got social media and we've got people sharing this information, and luckily things are changing, but I didn't know until I knew. So after that happened, I went home and I got on YouTube, and I discovered people who are now like the rock stars of the vegan movement, Earthling Ed, Natasha and Luca from That Vegan Couple. Love them. And also James Aspie. And this is 4 years ago, so their channels were relatively new. Like Natasha and Luca from That Vegan Couple had 30,000 subscribers and had not yet toured the world doing activism. In fact, they weren't really doing outside of the house activism. They just had their YouTube channel at the time, but their videos really resonated with me, and I watched all that I could because I didn't know how to live in this new world of being vegan. I didn't know anybody at first, and so I'm really happy that I found them. And there's so many videos on YouTube, and that's why I have my own channel now, is because I want to be somebody that somebody maybe possibly learns something from. Also, I went on Facebook and I just typed in Saginaw, that's where I was living at the time, and vegan, and I found a local potluck. And they're still my friends today. I just had a potluck with them for Christmas last week. And they're lovely people, and I'm so thankful that I got to meet them through this new world of veganism. And they've inspired me tremendously as well. So I would really say that if you're thinking of going vegan, please go out there and get yourself a community of like-minded friends, because that's really important to do, and to meet new people. And it's just important. It's important. So I realized while I was watching those YouTube videos of Earthling Ed, James Aspie, and Natasha and Luca, I was realizing that there are an ever-growing number of people that are keeping animals off of their plates. And so I studied a lot, and I tried learning as much as I could about veganism so that, again, I can be the best advocate that I can be for the animals. So I became vegan, and I learned a new way of trying to cause the least amount of harm as possible. So that's why I'm here. I just want to help other people know what I know now, and I just want to inspire other people to think for themselves. And I say think for yourself because I really believe that we're told and we're conditioned and we're given blinders by society and by government and by the big agricultural industries. We're giving blinders, and we're screwed those blinders in to us. And I think that that is when you are learning about veganism and you're learning about all the aspects of it, that's when those blinders start coming off. So it's a really important journey to get rid of those things and start seeing things as they really are. We're told constantly that it's normal, natural, and necessary to eat meat and to partake in these other atrocious things, like buying cosmetics that were tested on animals, or going to circuses where the animals are mistreated, or all of those things. We're told our whole lives that they're normal, natural, and necessary, and they are absolutely not. So it's good when those blinders start coming off, because you can really see the world differently. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's very, very hard. It's very, very difficult. And that is why, again, I think it's really important to find your own tribe of people who feel the same way, because it can be a profound emotional difference when you go vegan. And I think it should be, because it's such a change from what we've been used to. So what is veganism? It is a social justice movement. It's not a diet or a fad. Again, diet, of course, has something to do with it, because you're no longer partaking in any foods made of animal products. But it is not a diet specifically. It is about the animals. It is an ethical stance against violence toward animals. The accepted definition of veganism is a way of living which seeks to exclude, as far as possible and practicable, all forms of exploitation to and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. So somebody living a vegan diet abstains from eating animals, of course, eggs, dairy, gelatin, honey, and we also do not wear animal skins, leather, fur, silk, Angora. We check our cosmetic purchases to make sure that they haven't been tested on animals, and also to make sure that the products inside the bottles have no animal products in them. We don't go to circuses or use animals as entertainment in any way. We just simply want to avoid using animals and thinking of them as a commodity, because ultimately we just believe that they have a right to live their own lives free of torture and suffering. Pretty simple, actually. And it's not difficult to live that way, especially nowadays. It's getting easier every day. There's more and more people going vegan, and it really is a common sense, kind way to live. And the thing is, most people, if you ask them, are against animal abuse and would never hurt an animal on their own. Of course they would never. But the thing is, people don't realize that they're actually paying for animal suffering with their purchases. I think that's why people get upset when they hear people talking about veganism, or those pushy vegans sticking their noses in and making them, forcing their views on other people. It's cognitive dissonance, and it's just what your brain goes through when you kind of deep down know that you're still supporting those industries and things. So it's really simple, though. We just simply want to avoid suffering. We want to live as kindly as we can. It's really all veganism is. So there are 3 major reasons to go vegan: for your health, for the health of the planet, and of course for the animals. And in the next videos, I'm going to explain each one in detail on their own. So please look for the next video, and thank you so much for watching.